Hello and welcome. We just got finished reading about Rabbit Boy, or as it was also called, Blood Clot. But Blood Clot is a name of another one in here, so I'm just going to refer to this one as Rabbit Boy for clarity. It is the White River Sioux origin story for the universe and mankind, or more specifically, just Rabbit Boy himself. It was very... So, at the very beginning, the prologue specifies that Indian stories, or Native American stories, whatever, they aren't told at the same pace and with the same rhythm as stories from a lot of other cultures. And I get what they mean by that now, because the rabbit was kicking a blood clot, and all of a sudden the rabbit was married to something, but it wasn't the Rabbit Boy, because once the rabbit was married to whatever that thing it was, they adopted Rabbit Boy and raised Rabbit Boy up. And once they raised Rabbit Boy up, they were like, hey, look, we gotta let you know you're adopted, not your actual mom and dad here. So you need to go and find other human beings. Which is very interesting that motion seems to have some power to create life, which I think is a pretty interesting concept. So it's like, whenever you try and define what life is something that moves, that has the ability to move. So if you have the ability to move, then you are technically alive, right? And so you can animate other things by moving them, even if they were not originally animate, because you interacting with something brings it to life. Your act of moving something. Yeah, you acting upon something brings it life, and that thing can become valuable. And I like that as a concept. I like the idea that motion itself mixed with your will to move something is an animating force by itself. I think that's a very interesting concept. I'm not really sure how I would relate it to other things. I think I probably need more time to think about how that maps on a grander scale of things. But I guess if I was going to try and put into words how I am processing it right now, me creating this, reading the book, reading the story, that I think would count as motion. I am enforcing will onto an activity, and I am bringing it into the real world. I'm giving it a life. I am animating it. Whereas it would have not existed previously to my recording and my posting it. So my will, my motion, is giving life to something, and by sending it out for everyone to see, I am telling it, you must go out and find your people. Just as it, because once I'm done, I've brought it to maturity. Yeah, once I've posted it, I've brought it to maturity, and now it is out there for it to find its tribe, or for the other tribes to find it, I guess is another way that you could say that. So I think that's kind of how I'm piecing that together as of right now. But I really like that idea that motion is something that brings life. It is a necessary aspect of something to be called living. It has to have motion. I like that. And now moving on to Iktome, right? Rabbit Boy finds a woman that he likes, wants to marry her, and then you have Iktome the Spider Man, which I don't know. I think the Spider Man just refers to a person who has a spider-like demeanor. I'm sure Spider Man will show up many more times, probably in pictures. But Iktome, the spider, the one who lies, right? The one who thinks he's more clever. So I guess Iktome sets traps for people, right? So a spider could be seen as wise because he lays traps for flies and other creatures to come in, and then he traps them and he kills them, which he technically does with Rabbit Boy. He convinces the other men to be like, hey, Rabbit Boy has this power, and we have to get rid of Rabbit Boy, or he's going to take our women or something like that. And Rabbit Boy never displays any power until the end, whenever he does a death and resurrection. But yeah, they tie him up, and Rabbit Boy sings a song that it seems the song itself has an incantation power to it, but it's a little unclear whether or not Rabbit Boy naturally had the ability to bring himself back to life, or if singing the song made the sun act and bring him back to life. Regardless, Rabbit Boy sang a song, they cut him into pieces, and they threw him in a stew. Quite gruesome, by the way. Cutting up your enemy, throwing him into a stew, and being like, guess what we're eating? That guy that we don't like. But his power allowed him to form himself back up and to ride the sunlight back to the sun, to where he would become more powerful, as the elder said. And then Iktome is like, no. I'm more powerful, right? The greed of mankind, the pride, steps in and says, I am more powerful than the one that is blessed by the sun. And so he calls upon the moon to resurrect him once they cut him up. But he gets cut up, and well, the moon doesn't have the power to resurrect. The moon is not warm. The moon is cold, and you need warmth to bring life. So, yeah. That's what I got out of the story. What did you get out of the story? Let me know down in the comments below. And hey, if you like this, go ahead and check out one of these other videos right here. I mean, why not?